wild place, and you can also hang out on the global chat while you wait, which is a great and
There we
intelligent
go.
place to be. Currently, they're discussing if it's gay to suck your homie's dick, ironically, but there's...
I'm not thinking about the romance aspect of what we just heard. Who would you rather, Hillary or Angela? Angela for beans all day, man. How's it going, folks? Jack here with another reaction. Today I'll be checking out a review from Seth on the game that tried to clear so many people's crippling addiction to Diablo 3. I'm talking, of course, about Path of Exile. This is a game that I played over a little bit over summer because it was free, didn't need to pay anything from that. And it was genuinely good, and I got into that sometime again later. It's like an on and off thing with these types of RPGs. But I remember it as being genuinely good, with the only caveat being that the DPI on my mouse, like, really hated that game. But there have been talks since, I think, 2018 already about a Path of Exile 2. I was thinking Diablo Immortal because that has been basically the best thing that could have happened to Path of Exile since that went in the gacha route. And yeah, best thing that could have ever happened to it. But Path of Exile 2 was announced already back in 2018. And perhaps is going to come out alongside Diablo 4, I guess. That would have been a smart move if they want to have like a straight up competitor. But we'll see. GGG have not said anything about that yet. But enough reminiscing about the past, let us reminisce about the past. Let's check out this review.
Hey people, Seth here. Let me tell you about a game I've played on and off for
Brazil.
years, Path of Exile. Path of Exile is a free-to-play Diablo clone action RPG, and much more of a spiritual successor to Diablo 2 than free could ever be. It's made by Grinding Gear Games, a Chinese Skinner box company operating in New Zealand, a lesser-known colony of mainland China. It is, in the spirit of Diablo clones, a huge grind fest for items and money, but there's layers of complexity to keep you interested. For a start, all your skills come from gems, which come in two forms, active and support. Active gems do stuff. Support gems modify the stuff they do. These need to be socketed into items to do stuff, and linked if you want the support gems to actually affect the active gems. This leads to some creative and retarded combos. Cast on Death is a perfectly valid way to play, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. There's multiple characters to play with their own backstory to how they ended up on the Path of Exile. Trademark copyright. Basically, everyone who does bad shit in Oriath gets sent to Rayclast, where they'll probably die. In Exile, the Templar questioned his faith, the witch had her house burnt so she fried some boomer's kids, and the Marauder didn't meet diversity quotas. Most of the classes have good reasons for being shipped off to Rayclast. My favorite has to be the...
That boss, the start boss, was the worst. I remember wasting my healing potions like on mobs for some reason, and I kept on failing to him, and I didn't realize how to kite him around and avoid his strikes, so I kept on repeatedly dying. It's until then, after finally defeating him, that you get like a first experience point, and you realize that the skill tree is something else.
A duelist, because his entire reason for being here is literally some nobleman talked shit to me. So, I fucking killed him. What a guy. You can see where the inspiration came from for all the different settings. Rayclast is loosely based on New Zealand. The forests are filled with koalas who want to tear your skin off, and the beaches are filled with meth heads who want to stab you for your wallet.
I mean, it's fair. Koalas are some of the worst animals to ever exist. Do you realize this? I used to have a rule saying that anything that can get rabies is a different animal, right? Koalas don't get rabies. What they can transfer to you instead is chlamydia. Yes.
Yeah, boy.
This animal can give you a UTI. And I know the, what should I say, science students or med kids will come and say that it's a different pathogen, it's a different virus. I know, okay? I know. But the useless Aussie bear, that is the koala, is the worst.
Skills mix with your gear, and these in turn are influenced by your passive skill tree, which is fucking massive. Just look at this shit.
Yeah.
Every class starts in a different spot in the tree, but all the passives are the same. Classes get to choose unique passives later on. This might sound very complex at first, and then you'll realize that nothing fucking matters except more life and damage. I recommend the first time you play to just do your own thing and experiment. Then, once you hit a brick wall and can't progress any further, look up one of the most meta builds for the current patch and relentlessly steamroll through the content. It's a learning experience, and there's a lot to do. Finishing the main arc of the story is just the start of Endgame, where you will autistically tweak out your characters with more and more ridiculous setups until you burn out and stop playing until the next league.
Yeah, and that is if you manage to keep your retina intact before the end game, because those particle effects that you sometimes get enrolled in are crazy bright.
Classic life cycle of most Diablo clones. Or, in the case of one of my friends, finish Act 3 and tell me that the game's too short, because he missed the exit leading to the other 7 acts. When asked about his build, he said, "What do you mean linking gems? I've just been using Heavy Strike. Path of Exile has a bit of a learning curve, and it's not for brainlets. But as long as you come from a civilization that's discovered fire and has some frontal lobe development, you'll be okay. Each league puts a new spin on the game mode, giving you new ways to grind, and you can choose to either play as softcore or hardcore. Hardcore players are, of course, the vegans of Path of Exile, and we all know there's no such thing as a quiet vegan. If you interact with a Path of Exile player, they'll either tell you that they also play and enjoy the game, or they'll start screaming incoherently that they only play hardcore, solo self-found, and that they desynced for 1 millisecond yesterday and lost their character for the 3rd time this week.
And then they have to re-roll. Yeah. The typical excuse. I mean, one thing that I came to understand by each changing league is, of course, like the lack of rewards. I don't necessarily think that thing became too difficult. I don't think so. Like, oh man, there was this stupid IGN review I saw in, I think, 2018, where the reviewer barely got through the game, right? Managed to put in a lot of time into it, but barely got through the game. But still said that the game was super repetitive, or was... Okay, actually, you know what? Let's find that out real quick.
One eternity.
Once I got my build dialed in, I found the combat to be fairly repetitive and that it leans too heavily on having the right gear, rather than being good at playing my class.
There it is. For a video that nearly has 600,000 views and only 2,000 likes, I don't need to have an add-on installed to know that the dislikes are massive on this. This is the kind of review where you learn about the game from comments better than the video. But yeah, I essentially just think that it's one of those moments where, like, no matter how much you invest in the games, the rewards that you will get were not really that great. So yeah. Anyways, let's keep going.
Free-to-play game, Path of Exile servers sometimes aren't the best, and you can rubber band or desync. This isn't a problem for a regular human being. Hardcore players will, however, pathologically blame everyone but themselves for dying and demand a server rollback each time it happens. This pathological behavior extends into their private life, as many of them have, unfortunately, lost custody of a kids. Siphoning alimony payments into microtransactions ensures that their spouses receive minimal support. Their
He just showed the worst usual family through that.
children may have mandatory visitation days, but they universally hate it. One child I talked to, Timothy, was brutally beaten with a bamboo stick after he picked evasion over a health node on the passive tree. And you know what? He got off easy. But the game is completely free. The only money you spend on it is on microtransactions, which don't directly influence gameplay. Even if you're not interested in cosmetics, you will, sooner or later, need practical shit like extra stash tabs and specialized tabs for holding currency items. Speaking of currency, that is the primary objective of this game, obtaining currency. Unlike fiat banking systems in modern countries, the primitive people of Ray class trade items for rocks of different colors. You can smash these rocks in your equipment, denting
expensive
and changing
rocks.
them in the process. An Exalted Orb is one of the most valuable rocks, and many players haven't even found one. Chaos Orbs are far more common rocks, but appropriately rare enough that they're the gold standard for trading. The main point of Path of Exile isn't the creative builds, the metagame, or the challenge of getting to max level. It's trading. I sit here all day, plugged into Poe Trade, and I flip shit for hours and hours. I don't even leave my fucking hideout, which is beautiful, by the way. I'm so glad I picked Haku as my master. What other master lets you place dead fish and rotting bodies on the shoreline? What other master allows you to block the entrance with shipwrecks and pointy sticks? None of them, except Haku. I'm hooked into every API. I've got that shit on live alerts. I've got Poe Trade on my phone, so I can lowball people for prices on alt accounts. I try match users with known sex offender registries, so I can blackmail them into selling their lore weave for cheap. I make prints of all my trades and fax them to children in Malaysia.
What's so good about this is that you never know where he's going to pivot. Seth could have made for an amazing comedian. You never know what to expect from him. But it's true though, that's how a lot of players will spend their time. And similarly with things, oh, sorry about that. Just about any game that is that has an open chat with an action house or straight up free trade, it happens. And of course, they're the bots, right? Let's not talk about that.
To inspire them, I buy shit cheap and I sell it higher. Why? For what purpose? To see the numbers rise. At its heart, this is the real meaning of Path of Exile. It's a cutthroat world out there, more brutal than any corporate position, but less paid and with longer hours. Do you really think you've got what it takes? Being good isn't good enough. Not when you're competing with hundreds of Russian spam bots on auto refresh. Sometimes you'll even take a holiday to the beach, but you won't be able to relax. You'll
What about
spend
the
all
Chinese
your time there
bots?
sending out hundreds of trade requests a minute. There is no sleep. There is no rest. Just a 24/7 Beijing grind. You often do things so fast you forget who you even messaged. Did Delve into My Anus want 2C or free C for that ring? Or was that little pump suck from a minute ago? And you don't want to embarrass yourself by asking. Just act cool. Put a chisel on the table so he knows you mean business. Don't worry, he'll be back. They always come back. Trading is a wild place, and you can also hang out on the global chat while you wait, which is a great and
There we
intelligent
go.
place to be. Currently, they're discussing if it's gay to suck your homie's dick, ironically. But there's
I'm not thinking about the bromance aspect of what we just heard. Who would you rather, Hillary or Angela? Angela fucks all day, man. Now I'm seeing that bull haircut from... not just her, but the one from... what's it called again? Oh, I've forgotten the name of the show. Stranger Things, yes. The Dumb and Dumber look. And the other guy replies, Angela, even though I have UE. What the hell is UE? Merkel has a loose pussy because of all the... Okay, come on. Why do you always default to that?
dick. But there's one rival in my quest for capitalist domination: China. The Chinese conspiracy on Path of Exile is plain for all to see. They've grown so bold, they don't even bother hiding it. Chinese gold farmers running hundreds of bots threaten the stability of our economy. Global chat is often spammed with Chinamen with Chinese names like or asking you to go to dogfart.com to buy Exalt Orbs and Chaos Orbs for the low price of $2 or 1 cent a piece, respectively. Grinding Gear Games claims they do everything possible to stop gold farmers, but I can see through their lies like rice grains. GGG is a subsidiary of Tencent, which
League
also
of Legends.
owns Riot Games.
Oh, Riot
and
Games,
Tencent
yeah.
is owned by the Dalai Lama. Follow the paper trail, follow the money, and you'll find that GGG and the gold farmers are one and the same. Players will first buy currency from the Chinese orb cartel. The money is wired instantly by Western Union to the Dalai Lama, who pulls the kill switch and bans the player after several days. During those days of decadence and luxury, the player will get a taste for power, which is then cut off. Much like an addict, he craves for more exalted orbs, starts a new account, and tries to turn a new leaf, but we all know how it ends. But despite the strength of our enemies, we will trade.
So, playing Path of Exile is essentially just a full-on Nirvana fallacy. Great.
Right on. That's what Path of Exile means to me. Or maybe it's my heritage speaking. I mean, we were expelled from over 200 MMOs after all. In all seriousness, Path of Exile is pretty amazing for a free-to-play product.
I saw he chose Brazil before and I would have said Brazil, but I mean, he can say those jokes.
If you like Diablo or any of its derivatives, you'll feel right at home with what I feel is a raw improvement over those old systems. However, keep in mind that Path of Exile started development centuries ago, and it's not very well optimized for your hard drive. So, if you can afford it, get an SSD and put Path of Exile on it instead. It should run like butter. The PvP arena is also really fun. Stun locking people never gets old. And remember to praise the all-holy toucan daily on global chat. A temporary chat ban is a small price to pay to see all men of the world united in worship. Very good game. It gets a high score. The score is arbitrary. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild who have been generously funding and bankrolling these videos. This one is free though. You're all truly wonderful.
How to play Path of Exile. Go into the global chat, spam the holy toucan, get banned, create a new account, rinse and repeat. Oh, these were the good old days. And now and everything is just gacha. Which is kind of fun because I have to check some gacha zone that I've been requested to check out. But yeah, this was a fun one, a nice reminder of what it used to be. It'll be fun to see how it is that either Diablo, not Immortal, nobody gives a damn about that one, Diablo 4, which is somewhat promising, and whatever they're gonna do with Path of Exile turn out to be. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, please do go and subscribe to SsethTzentach if you are not already. And of course, if you like this video and have any other recommendation, leave a comment in the comment section below and subscribe. And I wish you all to have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.